If you love shows like Tiger King, Chimp Crazy, I can tell you this next docuseries is going to be the absolute thing for you. I'm talking with Emmy-winning directors, documentarians, Chapman, Wayne, Maclain, Way. They're brothers, and I'm going to let them do all the honors of telling us what this show is all about. I don't want to give anything away. They need to do it justice. So, Chapman, take it away.
Yeah, it's a truly banana story. In 2013, President Barack Obama, U.S. Senator Roger Wicker, and a local judge in Tupelo, Mississippi, received poisonous letters in an assassination attempt. Turns out that an Elvis impersonator from Tupelo, Mississippi, which is the birthplace of Elvis Presley, was arrested for the whole scheme. Basically, the FBI starts investigating it, looking into this bizarre story, and all is maybe not what it seems. And so throughout our story, Kevin has to prove his innocence. We track Kevin from a child all the way up to being arrested for this scandal. And it's just kind of like one jaw-dropping turn of events after the other.
You're certainly right about that. And this show is called The Kings of Tupelo, like you said. And Maclain, how did you come across this story? I mean, this is just wild.
Yeah, it was a really interesting process. There is, and this was our experience, a little bit of a collective amnesia about this story. An interesting factoid about it is these letters were received or intercepted about right on the heels. I'm 24 hours after the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. So this happened right in that week of April 2013. And it was a big story. It still got a ton of press coverage, but it was still mostly on page 2 just because of the magnitude of the marathon bombing. And we had this recollection: Elvis impersonator, Tupelo, Mississippi, arrested for assassination plot against President Obama. And it wasn't until 2021 that we dove back in, started reading some more about it. We actually got down to Tupelo, Mississippi, met with Kevin Curtis, and that's when we realized there's so much more to the story than had ever been reported before. We met with Kevin's family. We met with the local state congressman that gets wrapped up into Kevin's conspiracy. We interviewed U.S. Senator Roger Wicker, who was one of the recipients of the Ricin letters. And it almost started becoming just this really crazy rabbit hole that ends up kind of becoming the story of what we told. But that was certainly our experience making this.
It's a 3-part docuseries. Chapman, how much time did you guys spend in Tupelo? And I can only imagine the hours along with that time.
Yeah, it was about a 3-year process from beginning to end. I think over those 3 years, we spent probably about a total of 9 months in Tupelo and really got to know the town, got to know everyone there. When we got there, we were a little bit nervous to tell people what we were working on. It's not maybe the most prideful story of a presidential assassination attempt, but everyone in Tupelo was like, this is the most outrageous story. We're so excited you guys are telling it. And everyone had some sort of connection to the story. And it was a ton of fun, a ton of work. But we're really thankful for the kind of town in Tupelo opening their arms and letting us film there for about 9 months.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see the people that are not the center of the story, but getting to you see all these reactions. And this is very different from previous documentaries that people know you guys from. Obviously, Wild Wild Country, Emmy-winning show, Untold, which I want to thank you for the Malice at the Palace being here in Indiana, telling the Pacer story. But this is very different. What made you want to decide that this was your next project?
Yeah, it was great. We did Wild Wild Country, which took us about 4 years to make, which was a very more heavy, serious story. This one is serious too, but there's a lot of humor to this, and we were really drawn to that. There's not a lot of documentaries that get to be comedic in nature. We love dark comedies. We love these kind of stranger than fiction stories. And we just really felt like it was in our wheelhouse to kind of come in, tell a stranger than fiction story with a lot of laughs.
I think we're also interested in making a conspiracy documentary. It's like we grew up with those types of films. Even a film like The Big Lebowski that we talked about all the time. It's kind of like you kind of feel the web and you kind of feel the proverbial corkboard, which we have too, and we have a main character that's kind of working his way through this, trying to piece these things together. So we took a lot of inspiration from a lot of different areas.
Working alongside your brother Maclain, it seems so great that you guys get to do each of your projects together. What's it like being with that person who obviously you've grown up with and you guys are working together on all of your projects?
It really is a great process. It's interesting. I always joke around that, I think the reason we started together is because it's easy to convince your brother to come work for free. It's like you kind of you glom onto the people that are closest to you. But we've been doing this for 10 years, which is crazy to say out loud from our first feature documentary that we made. And it's great. It's our oldest brother also does the music for us. Chap's wife produces our film. So we've always kept it a little bit of a family affair, and it's challenging at times, but ultimately incredibly rewarding as well.
And you're also on, I mean, Netflix, like the biggest streaming platform still to date. All of your documentaries, your series, and it's just another process that it's so great to be on Netflix. Chapman, what's that like to be basically part of the Netflix family?
Yeah, it's incredible. They've been a huge supporter of us. We sold our first documentary to them back in 2014 when they first kind of got into original streaming. And like, yeah, there's no cooler feeling than today. We wake up today, it came out today, and it's got, I don't know, 280 million subscribers or something like that. And it's a wild experience, honestly. Like, I never get tired of it. I think this is like our fifth project we've kind of done with them. And like, every single time it feels very lucky, very fortunate.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like, it's such a unique experience because you sit in an office like this every day for years making these things, and it's just you and your small computer and our small team that we had a great team. We had an unbelievable editor and Neil Michael John and an unbelievable cinematographer and David Bolin. But it's so small, and then overnight it's on this massive platform, and you see all these strangers reacting to it. It like Chap said, it's just it never gets old.
Watching this trailer, you can see like your mind is just blown in the 2 minutes that you get to see before you watch the 3 episodes. Chapman, what do you want people to know before they watch the Kings of Tupelo?
Yeah, I would say that it's a lot of different elements. It's a Elvis impersonator. He finds a severed head in a hospital morgue, sets him down this massive conspiracy rabbit hole that takes him to a state congressman, U.S. senator, ultimately to President Barack Obama. If you like fun, wild, crazy stories, like I think you'll really enjoy this one.
Yeah, it's like we had great interviews with like law enforcement. One of our FBI agents, he has a great line that I think in the documentary where he says, if you send a poison letter to the president of the United States, there's a lot of people that are going to start trying to figure out who you are. And this was a massive federal law enforcement investigation, not just the FBI, but Homeland Security, Secret Service, U.S. Capitol Police, Postal Police, one of the largest interagency investigations that we've ever come across in any of the documentaries that we've tackled. So this was it starts small in Tupelo, Mississippi, but by the time that this thing grows, I mean, it has the focus of our entire federal government trying to track down who sent these letters. And a lot of signs are pointing towards Kevin Curtis. I don't want to spoil anything, but episode 3 really dives into who did it. Is there someone else behind it? Is Kevin innocent? Is he not? And there's just a really fascinating twist at the end of this whole thing.
So many adjectives to describe this, but I'm going to say it's going to be an easy icebreaker at your holiday table with your family. Have you watched The Kings of Tupelo? Make sure you watch all 3 episodes streaming now on Netflix. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks so much, Trevor.
Really appreciate it.